Radiant team pick. TNC Predators turn.
Slark.
That they used to roll like that. Defeat versus Aster. Very shaken up after that. They lost to a Night Stalker, for God's sake. Like
their plan in the first place.
The PL is instantly picked. You literally don't want to risk it. You don't want to have this hero banned in the second stage because it would be, right?
It will get banned, 100%.
Other options for you are Drow, which is already banned, and then something like a Morph, but you don't want that versus Slark, so...
Well, Moxie brought up very early the idea of maybe we'll see some special things coming out that maybe are well practiced in the region. As of right now, this is straight up
it's
the meta,
textbook.
right? Yeah, this is your meat and potatoes of drafting right now. Is this where we can start seeing it maybe get a little bit wubba lubba dub dub, a little bit crazy?
In the second stage, perhaps. But in my opinion, we're going to see some disruptors or perhaps an Abaddon, which is still in the pool. It's pretty good.
So you're
Nothing
thinking
really
we're going to stay pretty buttoned up.
Because of the bans. If you see the bans, there are still basically when you have a team that plays a hero really well, such as Meepo or the Naga, and you're forced to ban out those heroes in the first stage, it opens up the meta heroes, right? And then you have more space to pick your Vengeful's, your disruptors. But there you go, that's the ban. An example, Treant is still in the pool, and that hero is just super strong at the moment.
It's been like hit or miss for some teams, though, because some teams put a lot of value on it, and they'll pick it up, they ban it, or sometimes you don't see it touched at all. They have no interest. It's all about the Lich and disruptors, mostly.
Yeah. I know the one thing that they like to say about Trent is, or Treant is, he might not always be there, but he's always watching, right? So sometimes you'll see maybe in the game he won't, Treant won't necessarily do what it needs to do, but he'll be there.
For TNC, some combo of supports such as Treant plus Grimstroke would be pretty neat. That Grimstroke plus the PL lane is very solid.
Either one would do really well with the Grimstroke too, because with the Chain Frost and Lich, if you get off a Grimstroke.
Actually, that's true.
We saw that earlier today, actually. They had the Doom as well, so they had like the full-on combination. But
Kazu, what do you think of Grimstroke, 4 or 5?
I don't know if it really matters. I actually think what matters more for the hero is the hero you lane with, so you have a good lane matchup. So I personally don't have a preference whether it's a 4 or 5. I do think it could be good for TNC here. One thing I'm thinking about is what hero Reality Rift wants in their draft that's going to be good against PL. I would like a Leshrac for them down the line. It's really good against PL. It's also one of the better heroes against Doom, as if you do get doomed, your ulti will still keep on you enrolling.
You're still doing damage.
Yeah, and apart from that, I still kind of like a Centaur for Rift or a Legion on their offlane.
Yeah, Legion versus PL is definitely a good pick.
Yeah.
If they go for Legion, though, I think it leaves TNC an opportunity to just snatch that OD. It's good versus Slark, good versus Legion. I think that would be a perfect mid for them.
what do you think about something that Maelstrom carrier? Because we saw like earlier today, right? The Bloodseeker with the Maelstrom. We also saw.
The problem is you want that versus PL, but you already have a Slark, so there aren't many heroes on mid that you can pick like that are going to be solid.
I think right now, too, there are probably better options on the table. But also, okay, we get a Lina. I think that's the first Lina we've seen today, yeah?
I think so as well.
Because I remember we were saying it might have been good in one of the games, but they didn't end up picking it, right?
I actually haven't seen a Lina all tournament from the games I've watched. Maybe from mid once or twice. One good thing about this Lina as well, it's open, it could be mid. But I think it's a support, then it makes a pick like Sand King quite good here for a Rift if that's what they want.
I mean, TNC surprised me a little bit with this Enchantress pick. Overall, it's decent versus Lich, as you can take off his armor, you can dispel it early on, and we've seen a lot of Enchantresses lately. But at the same time, you're always susceptible to the Lina's burst. Like, if you remember that game, we just casted Moxie. Enchantress was, or watched, Enchantress was unkillable. You had the Venomancer, you had the Tiny and the Tree, and they couldn't even hit her after the Untouchable. Lina has everything she needs to take care of her, and the Centaur picked up by Reality Rift.
Looks good.
A little bit of beef.
A little bit of beef, but it also gives you that stampede to run away after you're doomed, right? You can disengage easily. Also decent versus PL.
Yeah, they don't have any saves against the Doom other than the Stampede being able to run away. It's like they've got like an Astral Imprisonment or anyone that's got like a heal or save.
Yeah, if you're TNC and you pick a really good support with this Doom, I believe you can pressure the Slark the same way Liquid did today. They go with the Tiny.
I want to talk about the Ench a little bit more. I know we started to talk about it, but we kind of did gloss over it. Kazu, why all of a sudden? I think Lizard, were you the one who was kind of talking about like regionally we were seeing it a lot, but now at this point, actually,
that was Grant and I were talking about. I was asking why
Lizard and I talked about
in CIS as well. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, but Kazu, what's going on in this tournament in particular? Why is it just becoming the standard for all of the regions? Like we are seeing so much Ench.
Yeah, I actually think it has a lot to do with how popular Lich is, because I think in all the games we've seen Ench today, it's been played up against the Lich.
Okay.
So you lane well against it, you take off the Frost Shield from him. It's also good in this lane against Slark particularly. I think we saw this exact same lane matchup today.
Yep.
Maybe even the same support for Ench. Also another reason why Ench is kind of nice on the offlane, she's self-sustainable after a while. So your 4 position is able to roam pretty nicely. And there's no better 4 to roam around the map than a Tiny. So that hero combination makes a lot of sense for TNC here.
But what do you think? Will this be in an Enchantress on offlane though? Because they do have Tiny and Doom together with her, so that kind of forces her more into that 5 role. She can still be 5 on the offlane, right, to support, but or you're thinking they're going to last pick a 5 and Doom is offlane? Just looking at this lineup,
yeah, I'm not fully sure yet. I was more going into the overall general feeling of the Ench Tiny, because I do agree with you that most likely the Doom may even be the offlaner here. I mean, it's kind of up to them. Tiny could also be mid.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what they want, but the draft is fairly open right now.
What I love about this current meta is there's just so many different ways you can put some of these heroes without revealing your entire draft. Even like this far in here, you're still, wondering a little bit as how you're going to lane these guys.
It's always great to have heroes that can lane on multiple lanes and fill multiple roles, because it makes your draft a little bit harder to guess. But these teams at this level, they pretty much have a general idea about where everyone is going. And
that's the solution to Slark, right? We talked about that earlier today. Someone was saying
I can hear them laughing in their booths as they pick this Enigma right now. Like
feeling
they're
good about it.
super hard. Just as I said, these teams, they have a general idea about where everyone is going. I don't think Reality Rift has the idea about where these heroes are going.
I literally, I don't know if you can't really see it on camera right now, but the coach of Reality Rift was trying to look over into the booth, and TNC liked it, and they're like, wait, what's going on here? What do you think TNC's going for?
I'm not 100%, but it could be Doom offlane, Enigma 4, PL and Enchantress safe lane, and your Tiny could be mid. That's one.
It's like the most logical thing I think to do, or the most
more standard, right? Most standard thing.
Otherwise, your Enigma could be offlane and you try to safe lane, tri lane with the PL. Not sure about that. But yeah, it should be one of those two.
All right. Now, what's Reality Rift going to do to actually answer in this situation? Is there anything that you're thinking of, any heroes in particular that you start thinking you're gravitating towards?
You most likely just want to
is it a mid or support?
I'm not sure yet, but I think what you want out of your last hero is a guy that can cancel Enigma's BKB Black Hole. I think that's really important.
They don't have that right now, that's all.
And I think it's easiest to get that from a support right now, actually.
What about an Elder Titan?
I kind of like Wyvern.
The problem is if you do that, you're putting Lina on mid, and you have Tiny versus you have PL. At one point, she becomes such a glass cannon. Instead, they go with the Shadow Fiend. They disregard the fact that they need to deal with the black hole, and instead just decide to go and run their own strategy. I believe that they could have last picked something like a Wyvern or a Silencer, even put in core or support, but then this Enigma would just buy Greaves or something and run them over with pure utility.
Well, just don't get caught, Lizard.
Yeah, just
take out the Enigma first.
Just don't get that
easy.
Yeah, I mean, but can you say that, right? Sometimes that does work. Sometimes just playing your own machine is going to be enough. Do you think that they can just say, okay, we're going to do it our way, we're not going to worry about the black hole?
I actually think TNC's draft draft is really strong. I think they didn't find a way to address this Enigma and overall the PL.
Do you guys feel the same?
I'm a big Enigma fan, and I think this is a good Enigma game.
He loves playing that.
Yeah. I have faith in them for sure. Yeah.
That's what you do with a Slark. You know, you get a Faceless Void or you get an Enigma, and you pray that, you know, you get those black holes or whatever, making sure that they locked in.
Well, you heard it from the panel. Let's see if they're going to be able to do it. Keep in mind, best of one team going to be eliminated right after this.
Prepare for battle.
What is up, you beautiful, beautiful humans at home? Yeah, I'm talking to you. You know who you are. Welcome to SEA versus SEA, TNC versus Reality Rift. Cap, we've got quite the interesting draft from the TNC side here.
Yeah, TNC, they swerved on us, man. They picked up that Enigma, which they're going to be given to KP, which means we are going to be having a mid-doom?
Yes.
We'll see how that one works. I mean, there's plenty of people who've been trying the 1 or 2 position Doom, where you give this hero solo experience, he really excels, right? You want every single one of his abilities to be maxed out. So, of course, that matches solo laners quite well. It's a hero that can, off of his levels, be super tanky, so Radiance is really nice on him, similar to the way Kunkka of old was used.
And, you know, memes aside, are we going to see this Doom get his ulti at level 6, or do you think do need to in a game like this? I always like it, but you know, is there a chance we don't see it again?
I don't know, maybe. I feel like maybe that was a farming deal. Like, that was a lane Doom, and it was a Hector. He was like, well, all I'm doing is Scorched Earthing and Devouring, so I'm not going to fight ever. I'm sure mid-Doom is going to be a little bit more interested in his namesake.
And we see it. Is a 3-for-1 rune exchange there. Reality Rift gets it early. Nice lead, and you have one of the strongest lanes probably in Dota right now. Lich and Slark in that bottom lane versus... currently, it looks like a solo Enigma.
Yeah, this is the advantage that TNC always seem to find a way to do. No matter what the patch, if you've got KP on your team, find a way to give him a solo offlane. And what's going to happen is Tiny's all going to send. He's going to sneak up and try and get an early first blood.
Yep, and here we go. There's going to be the slow. Will we get a toss back here from Tim? There is right click. I don't think you need. Nice toss right before he gets stunned. The tower head's going to come in. Goodbye, Hustler. He goes down, and as you said, Tim just walks forward, socks him a few times, and gets it.
That's the advantage of having KP as your offlaner, somebody who is versatile enough in his offlane pool that he's always able to grab some of these heroes like the Naga Siren, the Enigma, and he's always down to just kind of like lose the lane at the start.
Oh, and KYXY taking a lot of damage as well. Tim's, he's got the boots. He's going to run him down. This might just be a kill. He's going to have to pop this out. Tim's is like, well, I'm taking that off, and just hits it. A rough start on that top lane for Reality Rift already. Armel taking a ton of damage middle. There's going to be the second raise, third raise, but the Fairy Fire barely saves him. Nice play from the Shadow Fiend, though, wearing down that region.
Yeah, I was wondering, in such a small lane, I'm not sure how useful. Well, they do get the kill on KYXY eventually here, but in such a small lane like mid, where there's not a bunch of distance to run somebody down, I was curious to see how Doom would fare against SF, who obviously against a melee hero, you're going to have plenty of raise opportunities.
And just right clicks, right? That's the best part. You get everything in between. So top lane, they continue the trial, and usually you see this timing your own round, but I'm sure KP's like, bottom's going fine. Armel's like, maybe I could use a toss, but might be a little bit too hard, so they'll just continue dominating top.
I'm certain Tims will go for a gank on mid at some point in time, but for now, just try and dominate this top lane.
So slow down. I love the little ghost pickup. Tims just throwing him up right back to Gabby, and this is going to be another kill. Now Lina tries to stun the PL, won't be enough. Gets the kill, and already it's a domination in this top lane. They might even get him. Is the center? No, he'll back up.
I love the fact that they're just ignoring KYXY. Because with just retaliate, there's not a whole lot you can do, right? You come to run into a hero, maybe you pop your active and hit them stuff, but you can't really do much to protect that Lina, so.
So if you're reality ripped, I mean, what do you do with this top lane? Like Tims has shown, he isn't gonna roam around if he doesn't have to. Do you just play safer? What does the Lina need to do?
Yeah, Lina needs to play maybe a little bit farther to the left and stay off map, but especially since they did have a ward spotting, like these rotations, so.
Just be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, a little bit more careful, but also all around, just accept the fact that KYXY is probably going to get some pretty good CS out of this lane, and you might die a few times for it. They're still tri-laning, right? They're still going to have experience-starved supports.
Now middle, he did get the Ice Ogre early, but it won't mean much for us. The magic damage, nice right click into the raise, just enough damage. And Alacrity, he's like, all right guys, top lane's not going great, but I've picked it back up. And now top, he gets the double stun, but KYXY is the one in trouble now. Nice double from the Lina. I don't think it's gonna be enough, just right. Like he does. Hustler gets the kill before
here. Now they thought they could go for Hustler, but immediately the Lich is going to be able to turn around and Gabby's going to die instead.
Can they get March as well? No untouchable. It's the ulti now. Nice stun from Hustler. There's going to be another nuke. Nuts. What a rotation from the safe lane. That Lich support.
Oh yeah, beautiful rotation by Nuts, because like the TNC just got lulled into that sensation of like, oh well, we're always outnumbering them. These are easy kills, and you can't get lulled into a false sense of security like that.
You see middle lane, it's 27-23, but it just feels like Armel, every time he eats a double raise, ooh, but a missed raise there will help him out quite a bit, actually.
I think one of the best things is that Alacrity's doing well is that he started off the lane raising this Doom. Once you put the Doom a little bit low, then he's not going to feel comfortable popping in Scorched Earth and just kind of running at the SF and doing a bunch of damage. If he has to constantly playing on defensive, then you kind of have a free lane for Alacrity.
And you see the Slug, obviously free farming, but the thing is, you're free farming one less creep almost every other wave, and this Enigma is getting pretty damn good experience down there under his own tower. And we know Enigma may be the best late game support in all of Dota.
Yeah, something they did really well was just blocking out the hard camp to make sure there wasn't same kind of pulls. Finally, rotation comes in from Tims.
Will he get it? Hustler will show up as well. Looks like it's just a one-for-one kind of work. And show a little bit of assistance for our mid.
Yeah, it doesn't help that there's no levels of Infernal Blade on Armel. So this is not really a killing Doom.
You like that? No points in Infernal Blade. I see it a lot more lately now.
I understand because of his lane. Oh, top.
Will they get it? Another toss back right to March, but Nuts, he throws out that armor. Gabby won't do the most damage, but the Lance will bring him down. Easy right clicks. KYXY will get the stop. Obviously, no untouchable like we said. Just got a right click, but that heal seems to be enough. They're slowing him down. KYXY need to be a little bit careful. Tims is here as well. So is Hustler on that Lina, just zoning out the Tiny, but now he'll get punched. Stun goes out, whiffs, and Gabby gets the kill. Now they're chasing after. There's the stun. Do we have a Mango? No, just going for the body block. Lance is there. He has one more stun on his Lina to try to survive. Throws it out. Doppelganger dodge is just running under the tower, though. Will survive, it looks like. Barely, but man, this Lina and Centaur just so pressured up here.
Yeah, the Dark Troll Summoner looks like he just kind of fed it up there. But the pressure that's happening in this top lane. Going back to the Doom, by the way, I think the Devour level 2 was kind of important because of how much damage Armel was taking in this lane. You go from 3 HP regen to 8. Right? It's such a big jump. It increases your survivability in lane by quite a bit. And considering he was already feeling out so many raises and such, I totally get why he does that. I think it was the right build.
Especially, we see these core dooms are a lot different than like the 1 and 2. You do need farm. Like, you are supposed to scale for your team.
Yeah, for sure. You might even see like a 4-4-0 depending on how much Armel feels he needs to farm for this game. Another rotation by Tims.
So scary, and there it is. Stun gets the toss. He does, throws it back to Armel. There's the Doom. Once again, still no Infernal Blade. Comes in, hits the stun on this Doom. Is it enough to survive, or will he need to be denied? It looks like it might be denied. No, he's heading for the shrine. Armel instead taking so much damage. He's eating tower hits. One more will be enough. Hustler, good play, but also maybe a little bit of a misplay there from Armel. He just ate a lot of right clicks.
Yeah, seriously. Armel, he's whatever. He's got, yeah, the tower plus, like, you just don't have any armor to be able to stand it on.
Yeah.
That was really impressive by Hustler. Being able to hit that LSA, the first one that stops the Doom from keeping to be able to get that the fire damage onto the SF. So important to get that distance.
Yeah, and the SF didn't even really have to. He just went and farmed the jungle. Didn't even feel that down. Got the shrine. And Hustler getting close to that level 6. More burst damage. But TNC, they lead by less than 1,000. But it's very, very close right now. And that bottom lane, we haven't really talked about. We've seen it a little, but it's pretty much just Slark farming, Enigma farming, and you see them, they're both at 2,800 PL in first.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned big time for TNC, because it looks like with the top lane kind of going back and forth, and then Armel dying, the Slark free farming, the Shadow Fiend free farming, this is looking like they're just going to snowball over TNC, because they don't really have the most traditional playmakers.
And they just, guess what? Double stun, as easy as that top. You just hit one, you'll hit the other. Didn't even have to use Laguna. He just picked it up, actually. And now you gotta be scared of the map. You know there's a level 6 Lina anywhere, but Tim's gonna rotate in middle. There will be the stun. Do we have the toss? Yep, straight up into the air. Alacrity wants to get it. He does. They get all away. Nice raise to turn on into another. There's the Laguna. Hustler with another rotation. March, you're not getting this kill. Hustler, I heard about his Rubik. I watched his Rubik, but his Lina, he's showing up as well. And there's going to be KYXY up top. Nice job faking out the stun. That might help him survive. Maybe not. Lich is up here now. Not enough points and Lance to get that kill. Man, Nuts also all over the place. These two supports are just all over for the Radiant.
It's just insane how, like, this mid lane is snowballed so heavily because they keep on trying to kill him. But look at his build. He's got a magic wand and one bracer. Right? That one bracer has done so much work for him. It looks like Hustler is going to die again, but honestly, his play has been totally fine. Yeah. Right? He's trading out some deaths, but he's getting so many kills around the map that this sort of stuff is fine.
And almost gets saved by a Shadow Fiend, who will just come up here and farm, but still less than 1,000 gold lead. Drew will get harassed out of the lane. Looks like we are very, very close to that home of the Dominator as well.
Tims.
What up?
You're not actually going to do a whole lot to them. They're still going to be able to get that outpost and such, but...
So both get it, 150 XP.
Yeah. I like that KP aggressively pushes back Drew, by the way. And that 1v1, you want to assert your dominance. That way you can get that outpost and let your team feel a little bit more free about giving up top.
You gotta be careful. This tower now, the Helmet of Dominator flying out for KP. The Enchantress is already rotated down. It seems like TNC wants to maybe take this tower in the next couple minutes, bottom.
Yeah, I'm not convinced they'll be able to do so. Just because, like, their team fight does not look that strong when you've been rolled over in the laning phase like this. Like, you just look at this. The Centaur has Stampede to be able to help you out. He can stand in front of tower pushes pretty nicely. I would be surprised. I don't think they should give up a tower here.
And it looks like Lena's heading down there, the Lich is heading down there. They do break down all the trees, so TPs won't be hidden anymore. But they don't even need a TP down. Toss it in there, KYXY, throws out a Stampede, but he just runs right at him.
Yeah, Phantom Rush. Unfortunately, not a whole lot that Stampede can do to protect you against that. Lich is going to try and slow down the push, and Drew is going to wrap around behind.
It will get it, though. And with that siege creep and the double neutral creep push, I like it. They just force the tower down, and TNC, they've slowed the game down a little bit now. 1,000 gold up.
Now, like, just that last minute of play, right? That is beginning to show Reality Rift and maybe some of their inexperience in dealing with this, because think about it, they just lost their top lane and their bottom lane at the same time. Those rotations from the Slark and the Lich, they didn't effectively do anything because they still lost their tower. You know, Slark lost farming time during that period. It's just like they needed to be able to commit to one side or the other more, right? If you want to be able to give up bottom tower, that's fine, but you got to play towards top and actually attack that lane and try and trade off towers.
And they tried to do both, right?
Yeah,
with
exactly,
less heroes.
right? Yeah.
Do more with less. Couldn't know. KYX, he's been playing pretty aggressive here, just hitting the creep wave. They can't really kill him. They see the rotations coming up. Alacrity, he has the Yules already. Level 12 as well. The level 2 ulti. Is that going to be it? You got to be careful. Does Tim's have a stun to slow it down? He doesn't. He gets steered away, and there's the kill. Perfectly timed. Tim's gonna try to run, gets hit by the Rays. KYXY, he's searching as well. Hustler's there. Nice stun. One more Rays should do it. Doesn't even want to use the mana. Right clicks and Dragon Slaves.
Dude, that was so impressive that Alacrity had the confidence to be able to get that. There is that slight animation to Doppelganger, so you can pull off the perfect duels into ultimate combo and getting that fear instantly on him. That was very nicely played. But they're still losing a lot of towers here. They're gonna scramble to try and defend mid.
We're gonna see Alacrity. He does move pretty quick. Has the Yules. Hustler gets a solo stun on the backside. Yules into the air on these two. And they are taking towers, which is nice.
I think that's where, like, Reality Rift will... Like, they have to be really careful about these rotations being pulled out of position too much.
Just lets it rip. Whatever. It'll be back off cooldown. Not the longest cooldown on
some damage, who knows, maybe you steal a few neutral hits, you know,
a little 30 gold here or there. You'll take it. Less than 1,000 gold lead now for TNC. They weren't able to brute force that tier 1 tower down, but they did do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's basically at this point it'll die eventually. At some point in time, Reality Rift will commit too much to a side lane somewhere. The right rotation will come out from the Enigma, and they'll lose that mid tower. And that is the concerning part. Is just losing too much map control for Reality Rift, even though they had such a good start to their 2 side lanes.
We saw that 13-minute Aether Lens now in the Lena. Get that next level, get the cast range, and you're stunning from halfway across the map.
It's been interesting, Armel actually choosing to go for the movement speed here rather than the damage. Like as a solo Doom, right, you're gonna get so much experience that I thought the damage would just be amazing to have, because that much damage over time is kind of overwhelming, but maybe he feels like he needs to close that gap on the SF a little bit faster. At the phase drums build, he's going to have that max movement speed build up on the Doom.
Yeah, and he's going the BKB next, it looks like. He just wants to run at people.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, like, at the end of the day, he is creating space for his Phantom Lancer to get fat enough that he can outcarry the Slarks, so.
We do slow down for now, 10-9 at about 15 minutes in. We'll see if there's going to be any fights in the Bounty Ruins. Looks like Dire wants to take bottom, maybe Radiant takes top, but honestly, Radiant's kind of just sitting behind middle right now, but no one's there.
It would have been nice. They were making that rotation towards the Doom, so if he could just get his ult off on the Slark and then cut him off from behind, then that would be great. Then they set up on this tier 2. If Reality Rift chooses to defend, well, great. You still have this whole Radiant jungle that you can farm as you move backwards, right? So it's just a good area for the Phantom Lancer to play for now, which is also in turn why Reality Rift have so much vision on the higher grounds of that jungle. They want to make sure they don't give up too much of this like ancient area. They can see these rotations and maybe kill some heroes while they're farming, maybe just protect their Slark.
All right, Kev, you have to take a guess. Will Enigma get off a full duration? He just got the blink, so he wants to get off a hole, or will this Hustler Lena hit him from long range and cancel his first hole? Well, we're going to see a chain cross, and it's bouncing between the creeps. Oh, bounces to Tim's. Doesn't actually do that much to Armel. Looks like it might have been. There's going to be the Doom. He's not going to be able to ulti out, and Tim's is going to run him down. Yep, there's KP as well. There's the black hole. Where's the Lena? It's going to be a full one. They're just going to be able to bring down this Slark so damn easily.
Yes, he will get a full black hole.
Nice call, Cap. He does. And the Doom's still there. It runs away. All right. But that's a way better kill. They're like, all right, we doom this guy. He's only a level 9. And let's get the Slark.
I think one of the great things for TNC here is that they have such like a clear counter to Slark throughout the game, right? They don't have a BKB piercing disabled, and so they're always going to be able to have that lockdown against that carry. Meanwhile, I don't feel the same about the Phantom Lancer, right? They've got a good amount of AoE, but they don't have like one of the true hard counters to Phantom Lancer, no matter how late into the game. Don't worry, guys, we've got this Earthshaker, Underlord kind of hero that like really suffocates the Phantom Lancer. The PO, once he gets into that hard territory, the game's going to become really tough for Reality Rift. Fortunately, though, they scale really nicely. Right?
They do, and there's going to be the inhibit up on the Enchantress. One raise, two raise, right clicks, give you that agility. It's his first permanent agility, and you'll take it. We will see KP run away from middle. Looks like that will be a free tier 1, possibly. I love it, tries to pull the creep away.
Good attempt, but sadly, the Centaur plus the SF just means too much physical damage to their tower. Let's get that pretty quick.
Ooh, tries the TP, just gets leashed. Overcomes Armel to help out, though. And oh my goodness, this Slark isn't carries Ice Armor. W's ulti just dying. Oh my god, I thought he was going to die to the Ivos. Now he runs forward, gets the right clicks. I love it. Drew drops to 100 HP, and he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he's just like, whatever, man. They've got like, no burst damage that's going to surprise me. I can always get off my Shadow Dance.
And he does. Nice play. A little weird by KP. It looked like he TP'd in front of him, maybe looking elsewhere on the map.
Yeah,
when
he showed up looking around and wasn't paying exactly to his hero and what was happening around. Especially since the Slark just kind of popped out of the fog not too long ago. So.
And the Slark has the night vision advantage always.
Yeah. Ooh, Van Brace. That's a hype one. Give that over to your Centaur. Your strength Van Brace is always good throughout the game because, you know, once the Centaur runs out of space, he can pass it over to one of the supports. They'll never say no to a double bracer for one slot.
What about they have a Nether Shawl that's just sitting in Centaur's backpack. Is it good on one of the 5 heroes on their team?
I mean, there's a okay amount of magic damage on that team. It looks like they just give it over to the SF. I mean, it also helps for the magic damage amplification. So, SF, because he went for a combo play in the Blink Yules,
he'll be doing a lot of damage if he hits that Yules combo.
It does make me concerned about how well the SF is going to scale later on to the game. So Reality Rift really need to pick up the pace and start taking over this game. Right, when you pick up this Blink Yules, like you have to set a constant tempo of killing somebody every single time you have your ultimate, trying to take a team fight, trying to get a big pick off.
And it's going to be tough right now. The Doom has BKB. All of a sudden, the Shadow Fiend Yules someone's. This Doom's just going to run straight at him.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous. He is level 17 and 19 minutes in.
Fortunately, they always have the Stampede, which I think was part of the reason they picked up the Centaur as opposed to like the Sinking, which is like a very common pairing with the 4-position Lina. Just because the Centaur has the Stampede against Doom, it's a nice little reset for you. So that might be one way they can counteract that early BKB pickup. But it's tough when Doom also is going max movement speed with his talent plus Drum's phase.
He moves damn quick. And we see if anyone keeps trying to defend this bottom lane, KP with that Blink Dagger, he's ready. He wants that Slark to come down. But Armel's still just baiting it out. And we see the net worth. The PL and the Doom are catching up to the Shadow Fiend, who was a decent amount ahead a couple of minutes ago.
Again, I love Armel's build. I just want to reiterate this now, going for the Heaven's Halberd. Like, he's fully focused on just hitting a good mid-game timing where he's very powerful and his team, his 2 other cores, can focus on the late game.
Oh, I thought a Blink Black Hole was coming, but it turns to daytime, and that Shadow Fiend just gets out of there. Will be a double damage rune bottom. We'll see who wants to scoop it up. Man, a very even game. It's been no more than a 1,000 gold lead for either team so far. Just dead even. Would you say that does favor TNC, though, with this Enigma PL late game?
I think just because they have the hard counter to Reality Rift's win condition, and the fact that the SF win for a match. A lot of SFs. I think this is a right build for the game, but it does mean you should be playing to be ahead right now.
Oh, I like it. Just use the Stampede. Stun comes out from Hustler as well. Maybe trying to bait it in. The Centaur stutter stepping. Alacrity down here has the level 3 ulti now with that Nether Shawl. But TNC, they'll just stick together for now.
As they probably should for kind of the rest of the game. Just kind of roll around together.
No Stampede up anymore. You gotta be careful. They're gonna try to nuke down this Centaur, and I think he's just gonna die even with that fast armor. Ooh, nothing else. We missed the stun, and look at that Blink toss in. So Tim's also probably gonna the next one to go down. Alacrity pops his ulti. Some of them feared Armel. He's getting drums in like that. Max movement speed build you talk about. He's trying to run away. Pops the BKB. The Black Hole gets canceled by the Yules. In a minute, March. He's just throwing out the Infinite. Will he get the kill on Alacrity? They're scared. They don't want to die after he goes down. March gets the kill. Gabby, though, brings down Drew, which is a nice one. KYXY says, you'll all help, but he can't help anyone. It's going to be a full-on team wipe. Even with the instant canceled black hole, it doesn't matter.
You know, Grant, one of the things I was going to lead into is that I need to see Drew have an impact in this game, right? He had the matchup against the Enigma where he was basically free farming. He had the second most CS behind the SF at like 6 or 7 minutes. He was doing very well for himself, and then his network just started falling off. He died once, and then he finally picks up his diffusal blade. I'm like, all right, man, you got to make a big play here. And he shows up, and to be honest, like, he tries to go for Doom, understandably so, because he's low, but he just gets counteracted by a BKB, dies, like, just no impact.
Yeah, and you saw Tim's on the backside. He knew. He's like, waiting. Whoever I see, I'm just tossing in. It was Alina. Makes it nice and easy, and yep, instant canceled black hole there. And it's going to be Tell Isley. Doesn't matter, because they 5-for-1 them, so they're not too upset about that canceled black hole.
Yeah. Tower is under attack.
Man, now we talked about how it was only about less than 1,000 gold for each team. We're now at a 6K lead for TNC. That jumped super quick.
Very scary, especially since Phantom Lancer's already queuing up the heart, and he's got 2,500 gold in the bank. His Manta that he has way ahead of the Slark is going to allow him to just continue to escalate in this farming. That's one of the best things we were talking about early on, about how like TNC were getting better map control, and it's really concerning. A hero like Phantom Lancer, especially once he has that Manta, he just barrels through jungle farm. He just takes everything on half of the map.
Uh-oh, they had a sentry ward there the whole time and baited in by March. Level 14, level 15. I think the level deficiency now for Radiant catching up on these supports. Level 10 on the Lich and level 14 on the other side. Oof.
Okay, well, Hustler almost has his Aghanim Scepter, and it's a level 2 Laguna Blade, so that is going to be a large amount of burst damage. They cannot afford another lost team fight, though.
Feels like one more and your base is just going to crumble, or Roche is going to die.
That last one was already bad enough. I think that last team fight might have ruined their game, but one more bad fight like that, and you're just out. I'm not sure if there's any room for comeback. Again, because of like their builds, because of how far behind Drew is compared to the Phantom Lancer, who you really need to be ahead as the Slark against the PL to contest him later on to the game.
And it felt you could kind of feel the miscommunication from Real during that last fight, right? Like, KYXY popped his ult super early, and then he was kind of just stuck there, and they tried to save him, and then you don't have your escape mechanism anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to bring down that Hellbear, but March to get that bottom tower. They smoke up Enigma with the 150 GPM, only going to get richer.
Oh, yeah. We actually didn't talk about that, but the Devour talent as well as the Enigma GPM, like just naturally, right? These guys are going to be swagging out on Reality Rift.
Yeah. This is very, very scary. As you said, one team fight is going to go to like a 12, 13K gold lead, and then might just get 2 out control Drew. There is a black hole. You can't TP. Yeah, I love this. He's not TPing right away. He runs into the trees. He might still get found. He will. Oh, there's the dark pack, but guess what, Gabby? He's like, I know where you're going. Infernal Blade cancels the TP, and that'll be a kill on Drew. That's a real rough one.
That is certainly is, especially since they don't actually get a whole lot of map control. Like, Reality Rift can't really play bottom. It's already pushed in so deep. KP's already there to pick up both bounty runes. He's going to have his BKB very soon.
You have the Shadow Raise damage now from the Shadow Fiend, but who knows?
It's go time for Reality Rift. Like, you just picked up a couple of items. You got your level 20 on SF with BKB. You've got your Aghanim Scepter. You've got your Blink Dagger on the Centaur. Like, this is the best power spike you're going to get for quite some time.
Where do you think they want to like take a fight around? Their side of the map near Roche, like right here on their high ground?
I mean, if you can win a fight anywhere near Roshan, and if you win it hard enough with an SF, you could probably take Roche since he does a lot of physical damage, but it's they're just so far behind that I struggle to see how they're going to be able to win a fight cleanly. Especially, again, this early BKB from Armel was a great choice by him, but then the BKB coming in from KP is going to make that even more effective. They're also tanky, man. And when you don't have the sustained damage of a physical damage dealing SF, then all this tankiness really begins to show itself.
Oh god, and they smoke up, which is what you wanted. I love though on the side, you see the BKB for Nick, and the PL just got his heart, but they gotta go. This could be the deciding factor. Drew just running along.
They're gonna have to get some sort of sick initiation off of KYXY.
It's a full-on bait right here. I think TNC knows something's up there. There's a Slark who knows we have vision of him since he doesn't have his ulti. Something's up.
And look at him just barreling towards the high.
Oh, no, Alacrity. He does make it up, but there's going to be Tips. BKB is going to get popped by the Shadow Beam. He will throw it out. No, he gets doomed. And he almost gets right-clicked to death before that. KYXY will throw out that ulti. The Chain Frost is bouncing, but doesn't feel like it's doing any damage. Drew's just getting right-clicked. Gets his ult. There's the black hole. Nuts goes down. March went down as well. KYXY and Alacrity. They're just getting beat down. This PL has taken 0 damage this fight. Hustler, I'm sorry, but you're going to be next, my friend. Who's going to get the kill? Looks like Armel will do it. And yeah, they got baited into that one. Yeah. Onto their own high ground. A PL heart. Not much you can do. Oh no, and the Yules into the air. Let's make it a team wipe.
You can see, like, I totally understand why Reality Rift is scrambling to take a fight, right? But you know, TNC just had a very clever trap. They smoke into a high ground area. They play off of that, saying, let's just let them walk into us. And Alacrity, in his desire to find any fight, takes a terrible one. Him being leading off and then getting duped immediately, I mean, that's most of your damage.
Yeah, it is. I love how, like, Armel, he's like, I'll eat a creep first, then doom you. Pure efficiency right there. And as we talked about, Enigma, a pretty damn direct counter to the Slark at this point.
Yeah.
And then Hustler, they'll just go down. Man, it's a beatdown now. TNC obviously favored going into this matchup anyways. Reality Rift, they showed a lot of promise in that group stage, though, taking a lot of games people didn't expect them to.
Yeah. And it's, Kessie was saying on the panel, man, it's a good Enigma game. You've got no natural counters to the BKB, and so you're just, you know it's a point in time you're going to take over.
Yeah, and they're just getting run at now. Nuts goes down. We already see Alacrity use his Yules. Might need to be a little bit careful. Drew pops his ulti as well. Came on the backside. Stun toss combo on the SF. Still doesn't pop this BKB. There's going to be a raise. Laguna Blade. They do get tens. It is going to be a Nuts buyback. KYXY pops his ulti. Tries running. Armel just pops his BKB. Alacrity trying to run away. Chain Frost will come, but it's still only level 1. It does, I don't even know if it does damage to the enemy team. They're going to find the Shadow Fiend. He goes down. Hustler hits a nice stun, but goodbye. That's a dieback on Lich.
And now you just keep on fighting, because if you just keep on staying on Reality Rift's side of the map, this SF is never going to be able to farm the souls he needs to get any damage in these team fights. It's a pretty sad affair.
And now Drew getting run at as well. Loses all of his mana, just getting wrecked. It does mean PL's illusions do literally no damage, but they might not need to, because Infernal Blade plus the real one. Bop, bop.
Yeah, plus that Aghanim Scepter. Stun, increased duration. It's going to be so much damage when he gets his level 25 and gets the extra plus 3%.
Now the black hole's coming off cooldown very shortly as well. They're allowed to just siege. Uh-oh, Hustler. We'll make it away. Tim's doesn't go for it. And they're just going to smack the melee racks down. Will they go for the range as well, or are they going to go bottom? Looks like they just want to go bottom. I love it. The creeps will finish off that middle racks along with March. And yeah, you see a black hole BKB up again for the Enigma. They want to take another fight.
It's just so sad, because you had a lot of hope for Reality Rift. You figured, okay, maybe this is a matchup that, because they know TNC, maybe they'll be able to, be a triumphant, a best of one, and go a little further. Especially since I thought Reality Rift had, I thought they showed a lot of promise in the group stage. But sadly, they are left in the most dire of circumstances here. I'm sure the win condition is, if I had to guess, they probably have less than 5% chance.
Yeah, they doing well. There's the BKB Black Hole Midnight Pulse on the ground. A long TP coming out, but don't matter. See you later. Doom, I don't think that's going to help at all. They're just all over the place. You see Shadow Fiend trying to make space, going for Tier 1 tower, but unfortunately, because the outpost was in their favor, they knew he was doing that the whole time.
Yeah.
Welcome to Outpost. Only 7% of it. You really don't see many Ags on Dooms.
No, it's probably want your phase drums. And then it's like, okay, none of those items give you armor. Usually you want to like a Shiva's or something like that. But for a mid Doom, it's a very different story, right? You're naturally going to get a lot more farm because of your levels. You're going to get maxed out Devour faster. You're going to get level 15 faster. Also his build up. In how fast he's able to get like a lot of these stat items, like phase drums. He has a Heaven's Halberd, an early BKB. Like he doesn't really need armor, especially in this game where Reality Rift don't really have anybody who's doing any physical damage to him.
You see that Enigma bought the refresher and used it instantly, even though Black Hole's like 50% cooldown. He's like, nah, we're going again immediately.
Dude, I'm getting tired, man. Let's just call it a day.
Let's go.
Take Reality Rift out of this game and go to bed.
It looks like it is going to be Doom's going to get that Shiva's pretty much right now, and yep, flying it out. There's not much you can do anymore. You're gonna have to sit in your base and just try to raise, dragon, slave the creep wave.
Come on, Courier, you can do it. Deliver the item.
Please, I need it.
Dire
Looking at
Oh, okay. Wait, who's Courier was following Doom around?
You know, he's just having a good old time.
Yeah, I guess so.
And there's gonna be a repair kit, so that'll buy him another 10 seconds here. Will that 10 seconds be enough? More than likely not.
All right, Grant.
In play.
They do have... Oh, never mind.
Well, they might not have Drew anymore. They have the Black Hole, and they don't know what's up. Alacrity goes in. There's going to be the Black Hole. Nothing to cancel. He drags them all in. Gabby is able to get out. Maybe the Chain Frost still bouncing. Even bounces over, but Drew makes it out. Somehow no one's died yet. Gabby is the first one to go down. Alacrity, aggressive, blink forward. Nuts trying to do anything he can, but he goes down. And even though they lost their PL, TNC not too scared, but they will back out. So as you see with that Laguna, with the act, they do enough damage, but he gets tossed into the air. Just chill, guys. Just chill. Just chill. Oh no. Goodbye. That sparks that cap. Come on, just chill. He annihilated. You gotta chill. He wants more double buyback, but they're already gone. Maybe not. Ewell's into the air. Toss back.
Oh, nice
they're
toss
gone.
back.
Maybe. We think they're
They
going
still
back,
have
but
2
TNC
repair kit charges, guys. Just like chill.
chill it out.
You don't gotta force that too much. You can you could have like grouped up afterwards and just kind of like pushed out some of your lanes, gotten a decent amount of farm. I'm not even sure if they've completed their tier 3 items. Yeah, they're still missing a tier 3 item even. So.
There's the -80 untouchable slope from the Enchantress. Now the 5 position becomes pretty damn hard to kill as well.
Yeah, she is so hard to bring down because now you just can't BKB and focus her ever since Untouchable got turned into that ultimate and now Pierce's spell immunity. So once you get some of these things like the Untouchable slow and the heal, the level 15 heal talent as well, Enchantress actually becomes just so tanky.
See it, nuts. Heading on top has that repair kit. Maybe going for that outpost, like, oh, please, we need this. 35 minutes, it's not even gonna get there before 35, and here comes the Tiny. He wants to still take this fight, he's aggressive. Alacrity is here, there's a BKB. Heavy invis popped, oh my goodness. Hustler takes a lot of damage, but Alacrity, he does throw for gold, it's perfectly timed, the Doom's running away. There's getting the Black Hole, it only hits onto one, but it's the perfect one as Drew goes down, Hustler as well. Goodbye KYXY and Nuts. I believe you're going down as well. We might see some G's getting dropped here.
The best part was Gabby swooping in from behind. Great positioning by him. He cut over from the river and just managed to just execute the back line as quick as possible. And Grant, I think you're probably right. I mean, I think they still have some repair kit charges to throw in those tier 4s.
And he's dead. So
he can drop it.
Okay.
He can drop it, and they can repair kit both the tier 4s.
My God.
That's 12 tower shots, Grant. Not even Phantom Lancer can deal with that.
Not even, but these towers are dropping pretty damn quick. Still no GG fighting till the bitter end. Don't blame them. It's your first major. Unfortunately, this Ancient is going down. They're going to go for the next kill. Doom comes out. Goodbye, Alacrity into the buyback. Another Doom's already placed, and they're just dying. There's the GG's called. TNC with honestly a pretty masterclass performance after that 10-minute mark. It looked like Reality Rift was keeping the first 10, but not enough.
it's a little bit sad for Reality Rifts, just for a lot of the reasons we already talked about, but they also just looked like a much worse team here against